let me know if you are able to see everything and it hasn't popped up on screen yet. Where are you? Come on. Oh, I love YouTube's time delay. Come on, are you there? There we go. Wow, that took forever. All right. So, all right, good video, good audio, good, because we're going to need some audio for this, maybe. We'll see. Because I have the, yeah, the most excited I've been to unbox anything since I took delivery of my bassoon back in 2005. Yeah, 2005. So it's been a long, long time. I'm going to wait for a few more people to arrive. I'm going to get some stuff done here. But so I have been waiting on this package 3 years, probably. May give or take, but right at 3 years to get this. And I'm hoping that someone who is very involved, in fact, completely involved in the making of this, will show up here in just a minute. So a little bit of story. The Great Bassoon, say hi, this is the Great Bassoon, is not something that I am doing alone. There are 3 other people involved. People will probably know about Richard Bobo's Subcontrabassoon project. He has been really instrumental in just helping to field some designs, some ideas, and whatnot. And so he really helped to create some of the impetus for creating the whole project. Really instrumental is, of course, Jared De Leon, who has done all the computer-aided drawings and created all the files for 3D printing everything, as well as been really invaluable in um, aiding with some of the design work and figuring out some of the logistical things. But the other person who I've not talked about a lot is my dear friend Rufus Acosta. Rufus is a repair tech extraordinaire who also happens to make a lot of historical woodwind bassoons, shawms, kirtles. And as soon as I said I was going to do the project, Rufus jumped in, volunteered, and said, I want to make the bocal. It's like, oh, thank God I don't have to learn how to make a bocal. And so we've been in constant contact for however long the project's been going on. I've talked to him several times a week, and we get kind of updates and thoughts on it. And it's done. But before I unbox it, I have to tell a story about coming home from work today, and there's something very scary on my front porch. I checked in with the Postal Service, make sure everything's been delivered, and yes, everything has been delivered. I'm going to change angle here just a little bit. Oh yeah, let's get some more instruments in view. That's better. I like that angle better. Anyway, so on my front porch, you know, the last package I received for stuff with the Great Bassoon, well, turns out it wasn't there. It just disappeared. And I have heard hide nor hair of it. It was all the springs for the instrument, and they just disappeared. And the company I bought them from has not responded to anything, so I'm probably going to have to buy a whole new set of springs, and I'm kind of ticked about that. So I was hoping that the package would still be there, and luckily it was. But sitting less than a foot away, looking at the package very intently, 2 days before Halloween, is a black cat I've never seen before. Just sitting there, staring at the package, wearing a cone of shame. I have never seen this cat before. There has never been a cat on my porch before. I do not have a cat. I am hoping that this package is not cursed, because that would be bad. A good omen if I ever heard one. I don't know. All right, so with me telling about the curse, let's go ahead and open this thing up. Now, you have heard me play on the Great Bassoon before, and the bocal that I have been using is one that was made by Richard Bobo. It's really rough though, because this is 3D printed, and this was pretty hastily done just for Unmut last year, just so we could get kind of an idea. The problem is this is not done to really high specs. In particular, the tip opening is way too large for the Great Bassoon. It's much closer to a contrabassoon tip opening, if not bigger still. All right, well packaged in a Fox Bocal box. I have seen these before. And here we go. And this, my friends, is a thing of beauty. It really is actually very gorgeous. You take a look, it's got this really nice elegant curve in it. It's very simple curve, and it's a very different shape than the original Bocal. And part of that is this is questions where this the specifications plays. I don't know what that means. Oh, for the 3D printed one. So what I ended up having to do with the 3D printed Bocal is that I ended up having to cut it down several times. I ended up taking about this much off of the 3D printed Bocal to bring it up to pitch. And that was necessarily because it was way too long. All right, now let's see, is this going to go in? Let's put a little bit of cork grease on. The other thing I want to do is I want to see how the reed is going to fit on here. Just kind of like I thought. The reed's a little loose. Part of that is going to be just because the Richard's Bocal, the tip was just done with a straight piece of brass tube. So there was no taper to it. It was as close of an approximation as he could get. Okay, let's see if this is going to go in. I may have to sand this down, and that's expected. That's something Rufus and I talked about. Yeah, I'm going to have to sand it down just a little bit. All right. Again, absolutely expected that I was going to have to sand it down, which is why I've got some sandpaper right here. So this Bocal, making a Bocal is an extremely difficult, time-consuming process. So Marcus Lotovs says a little surprised by the steepness of the angle. We're gonna the angle we're gonna try out. There are no guarantees. Part of that is it's going to enter the mouth at a little bit of an upward angle, but the great bassoon is going to be held much more perpendicular to the ground than the regular bassoon, just because of its weight distribution. Bassoon leans forward quite a bit for most players. There are some players who play with it much more straight up and down. This angle here is designed to have the great bassoon play in a much more perpendicular, much more straight up and down manner, and so that the vocal will enter and the reed will enter just a little bit at an upward angle. Seltzer Water asked, does the rough 3D printed texture affect the cork at all? Probably shouldn't. And, cork is meant to be replaced. So if I have to replace it, I have to replace it. That's part of the longevity and the life of a musical instrument. You replace some parts. Yeah, we're going in nice now. Perfecto. There also, and you're probably not going to be able to see this. So there we go. There is the angle of the vocal on there. It is stamped. This is what we are calling a GCB. G for great bassoon, also in the key of G. C, this vocal taper is a pure cone, from 4.2 millimeters all the way down to 8.5 at the big end. And then B, this vocal is made out of brass. We're also going to try some other materials. Nickel silver is one of them. And I got to see, oh, my reed sunk. That's why I couldn't find it. Okay. So, first thing, this reed, this is probably one of the last times this reed will get used. Simply because this was designed for the old vocal. So I have had some cane soaking for a few days now. And, well, that cane has probably outlived, is ready to go. And speaking of ready to go, let's see. Do I have my tuner here? Yeah, there it is. All right. So, moment of truth. Tuner. And I'm just going to play. Let me get this set for just a 3-finger C. Sounding G. So I got to take off. Oh, yeah. Lots of clay stoppers. So let's try. Okay, that's dead on in tune. Maybe a hair flat. Oh, there's a resistance there that has never been there before. Wow. Okay, that I absolutely have been wanting to have. Resistance is a good thing. It means I'm able to push. I'm able to change and manipulate the sound some. All right, so what I'm going to do now is I got to take off some of these clay stoppers. Yeah. that's got a much more almost melancholy sound that I'm used to. I'm going to raise my chair up. So the vocal angle and there's a lovely taper I can do there, which I was not able to do on the previous instrument. Let's try E flat real quick. Yeah, so it sounds much closer to the bassoon's tone than with the 3D vocal. Yeah, it is a little more Baroque bassoon-like even. I must say, compared to the last time I heard it, it definitely sounds more refined, controlled. Yeah, and this is what I have been waiting on, is to finally be able to hear it with a real vocal, because I knew the limitations of that vocal, and it worked, but it was, like I said, it was limiting. There are limitations to that vocal because it had to be adjusted so much. I probably took between 40 and 50 millimeters off of it, completely changing the cone of it. So let's keep going down in the scale and just see where everything is going to lie. So yeah, changing notes still is a pain in the butt, but man. Okay, so that note there is considerably sharp. But that's okay, because this is what I want. I want this vocal here to be used for tuning reasons. Let's check out B flat. So that was written A sounding E. You know, hair sharp. Now to written G sounding D. Oh, something sounds like something is blocking a hole there. What's going on? Okay, so there's some real changes that have to be made there. Not unsurprising for that note. I want to try something real quick. That's A flat on the E flat. So that's the first time that note's really ever been sharp. But again, with my suspicion is that tone hole for low G is really in the wrong spot. Okay, so low E. Um, that's low F. That's low E. Let's go down a little further. Okay, so right now what it's seeming like is as I go lower and lower, I'm getting a little sharper and sharper. But I'm thinking that that very well could be the reed. Is it getting quieter as you descend? It very well could be because of the mic position. And so that note you were asking about, like the low D. Super sharp, super stuffy, but low D is always sharp and stuffy, even on regular descent. Okay, yeah. So again, so that's a tone hole that I know looks like it's going to need to be changed. All right, this will get me to low B. All right, so that note's pretty sharp. All right. We're slowly getting down to the lowest note, the low A. All right, so that's the first time I've played the low B flat where it does actually what I expect it to do, which is have the snarlingness of a low B on bassoon. So that really does have a kind of a pretty fierce snarl to it. All right, so let's get you. So on average, the low register is a hair sharper than it was. But this reed is also going on to the vocal a lot further. So, with that in mind, let's see, do I have... What I need is... I'm just going to put a little piece of paper on here. Yes, so, yeah, it is a darker sound. It is exactly what I was expecting to happen, is a little bit darker sound. All right, let's just see. So I've just put a little piece of paper, shim up the reed a hair, and we're going to go back up chromatically. Yeah, it's a much richer sound. It's kind of inviting, isn't it? Okay, so that tells me yeah, and that low. And let's try an F sharp real quick. I haven't played a low F sharp. Sounding, what is it, C sharp? Okay. It overblows pretty well. Let's go to G now. So the half hole issues I had been having on G are now completely gone. Now here is a design issue that I was completely anticipating: water buildup in the vocal. And for that, there is a solution, and that's just going to be, we're going to put a water key on here. So both notes pretty sharp. But there's something that did not work on the old vocal. Half hole A flat. In fact, half hole A flat, we had decided we're just going to have to use a vent for it. But now, it's nice. It works. I still will probably use the vent on it. All right, now for A. So yeah, the tone hole there absolutely has to be moved. And I'm going to have to open up the vent there, but I don't want to move that. That's a pretty solid note there. It does not want to, wait, let me try that again because I did something stupid there. Yeah, that's good. That's B flat. That's a pretty solid note. Now I know this next note, which is going to be B, should be pretty out of tune. It's okay. A little flat. But we've already changed that in some of the design work, so that's easy fix. And we're back to this open C is started on. Let's check C sharp real quick if I can get the clay off. I may not be able to on this. It's so embedded in here. Oh, yeah. So, yeah, clay, C sharp, does not want to work. I can dig it out. Okay. But, let's see, C sharp, what's it going to do? Hair sharp, but again, everything, we're running sharp, more or less. Yes, absolutely beautiful craftsmanship on that vocal. And I know Lucy has been dealing with Rufus on and off for the last month or so. That D, two-finger D, is just got this really nice veiled quality to it. And of course I've got my water in here. So let's dump it. But yes, so as some people are commenting, it does sound so much different with this vocal versus the other. In fact, for comparison, let's just switch over to the other vocal real quick. Same thing. Well, crap. I've got this vocal right now so bumfuzzled that I'm surprised it even plays anymore. And the old vocal has outlived its usefulness. It just will not play anymore. And that's okay. Alright, when you move the tone holes, will the new prints be precise enough to transfer keywork over? Luckily, the keywork that I have on here is not going to change. One exception. Everything else is just rods at this point. So I don't have to worry about the keywork. The boot joint I'm using right now is just a dummy boot joint. There are no posts on it even. Yes, so when I move the tone holes, yeah. So yeah, there will be all sorts of changes, but I don't have to worry about that. So back to the new vocal. this reed is too big in the back for this bocal, which means tomorrow, probably more like this evening, I'm going to start making reeds for the new bocal. But, oh man, it is so nice to have a real working bocal on the Great Bassoon. So I'm just going to kind of turn it around so you can kind of see what I see on there. It's an unusual look. I don't even know what I was anticipating. It's unlike any bassoon bocal I've ever seen. I'm sure you've ever seen. I don't know why YouTube suggested this to me, but somehow I'm entertained. Well, I'm glad you're entertained. It looks sharp, like you could stab somebody. Yeah, I'm not going to stab anybody with this. This is wonderful. So one thing Rufus and I were talking about is the angle good? So if I go in profile here, it's a really good angle. If anything, it might be a hair sharp. A hair. A sharp angle. I mean, maybe could flatten out just a little more, but so yeah, fan of the color of the bocal. When we do an actual finalized bocal, it will get sent off to be silver plated, and I really want to do that. The keywork we're probably going to do nickel plated. Nickel plating is just a lot cheaper, but this and then to go down to C, I gotta plug that up because I can't. And that's going to eventually, so let me show you where the instrument's going to sit playing position wise. It's going to be off to the right hand side. Yeah, this works really well. Yeah, it is pretty much what I was anticipating. It's yeah, and the reed leaks a little bit. There's some other issues here and there, but overall, I am pleased as punch. This is really, really nice. So if you guys have any questions, I'll stick around for a few minutes. I may just take some glamour shots of this and post it to Instagram or Facebook because this is just too awesome. I am super, super happy with this. A lot of hard work on Rufus's part to create this. But yeah. How tall is the Great Bassoon? Okay, well, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to back up the camera. I'm only backing up. I'm just going to turn it to face my front door. Oh, we're all tilting and going cattywampus. Okay, so behold my front door. Okay. All right. I'm gonna have to back up even further, aren't I? So I gotta get to the top of the door. If I go any further, I'm gonna start. All right, there we go. Now you can see the top of the door. Let's get this thing all the way here. So, for reference, I'm 6'2". The top of the bell here is right at the top of the door frame. It's about 6'8". Now, if I were to play this instrument standing, now, let's see. The bell is now, if I were to stand it straight up, the bell will hit my ceiling. I just can barely, it's just barely tall enough on the peg. But I have to actually bend at the knees just a little bit. Or maybe stand a little feet apart. Somebody taller than myself, well, you'd just have to get a longer peg. But yeah. But yeah, so 6'8", a little over, what is that, a little over 2 meters. Eh. All right, I think there was another question or two that came in. Yes. Do I think spit buildup? Absolutely, yes. So, yeah, spit buildup is going to be a huge problem with the upturned vocal. There's not really a way around it. And with the prototype vocal that we've got here, we decided not to put the spit valve on, water key. It is in the plans to add one. It's not terribly difficult. Just soft solder it on and you're good to go. But yeah, there will be a water key on there. And eventually we're going to put a water key on the U-bend as well. That should be really easy. Or am I worried directly about the impact of water key on the vocal? Nah, not really. I mean, brass instruments get by with it fine. Bari sax gets by with it just fine. I don't see that there's really going to be a huge issue with water key on here. I think we've decided that we want to use a Saturn key. And I'm going to have to make sure, now that I've got the vocal here, that the Saturn key will actually fit. It should. But, yeah. And eventually, we are going to experiment with an altissimo vent on the vocal. We'll probably do another vocal down the road, and I'll just start drilling holes in it. Because, you know, why not have an instrument that can go well into a super altissimo stupid range? Easily. But, yeah. All right, we got any other questions? And I know there's like a 30-second time delay on here. If not, also you could jokingly use a spit key as a vent. Probably not with the one we're going to use, actually. We are thinking about putting an actual vent on the vocal with key work on the vocal. So that is something that we are actively thinking about. And the key work will probably be activated with a bicycle cable. No. The water key, no. Because the water key is just going to be on the vocal itself. So there's no real way to do it. And then the other one will probably be way down at the bottom of the U-bend. Contrabassoon is unusual in that the water key is right next to the right hand, whereas on that's because of how it's all bent. But with this thing being a much more straight instrument, it's just not going to be feasible. Waiting for the next KOR video. Great Bassoon plays Haydn Piccolo. Christian definitely is going to want to try this instrument. I've talked to him quite a bit about it. He's really excited about the potential of this instrument. But we'll see. But I am, like I said, I'm really, really pleased with the new tone of the instrument. It sounds like a bassoon now. It really does. I'm sure there are probably refinements that need to be done along the way, but I mean, heck, it's a bassoon now. It really is. Okay. Again, if anybody has any more questions, let me know. Otherwise, I'm going to sit back, order a pizza, and kind of relax for the rest of the night. And then tomorrow I'll make some reads, and we'll see what happens from there. All right. If nobody else has anything tonight, I've got my mind is rushing right now. Lots of stuff to think about. But yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning in to unbox the Bocal. I am super, super happy with it. It does exactly what I was hoping for it to do. And we're going to try a lot of other things on it. And yeah. All right, guys. Thanks so much for watching. I'll keep, at this point, I'm hoping to move pretty quickly now on Great Bassoon Design. So thanks, guys.